Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. One of the questions also that is common is in regards to women having to pray out in public spaces. Is it permissible for them? It's confusing thoughts there. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to start with, he says, Allah Ta'ala granted me few favors, and by extension to my ummah, to my followers. One of them, جعل الأرض, he made the whole earth a masjid for me. In the previous nations, when it comes to praying, it has to be in a worship place. You can't pray except in, for instance, a monastery, church, place of worship alone. You can't pray anywhere else. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the whole earth became a masjid for him. Wa tahur, even a source of making ablution for the prayer in of itself. Meaning, somebody does not have wudu and neither does he have any water to perform wudu. Doesn't have water, but time for prayer comes in. Then the tayammum comes in. As we mentioned before, the tayammum is for a person to tap over the ground and wipe the face and then the hands. That's it. And that's tayammum. And you're ready to, you move from a state of impurity into the state of purity that allows you to actually perform the salah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also made it to where when the time of the prayer comes in, then the prayer ought to be performed, not to be delayed. Especially, this is in regards to somebody who is traveling, let alone when it comes to somebody who is local, not even traveling. And this is why when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it to where for somebody who is traveling has the option of combining the daily prayer, which is Dhuhr and Asr, either to pray Dhuhr and Asr together at the time of Dhuhr, or delay Dhuhr and Asr all the way until time for Asr. Why? So that there is no inconvenience and no burden when it comes to performing each one of them on its appropriate and designated time due to traveling. This is in the case, but still the concept of performing the daily prayer on time is there. So is the night prayer. This is for somebody who is traveling, let alone for somebody who is not. So the point is, when time comes for the salah, then you should not delay the prayer just because you are in a public place. In a public place, if you can find a masjid, that's a solution. But there's no place for you to pray except the public place, other than or the timing for the salah is going to be out and you did not pray within the designated time. However, if the prayer in a public place, for instance, in a non-Muslim environment, is going to subjugate the person, meaning put the person in a risk of being, for instance, attacked, let's say in an area where people are very prejudiced, and you feel that this is, and you know, that's not assumption or paranoia, you know that you may very well be attacked, or you could be also subject to, let's say, animal attack. So this is a lot of things. Let's say somebody who wants to pray in a forest, in those places. So the safety comes also as a priority. Then in those cases, and those are exceptions, you can delay the prayer. But to delay the prayer in general, just because you are in a public place, the answer is you should not delay the prayer because you are in a public place, as long as, of course, the reason why most of, the delay in the prayer or are not praying in a public place for women especially, is because there are so many ahadith where the Prophet ﷺ spoke about the most reward that a woman gets is when she prays in her home. And even within the confinement of her own home, the most secluded area in her home is the most rewarding for her when she performed the prayer in those places. This does not mean delaying the prayer altogether. When you are put in a situation where you have to make the choice between praying on time or delaying the prayer altogether just because you're in a public place, pray on time, for as long as your safety is not jeopardized in those cases. So, and of course, the most important part as to why the Prophet ﷺ said the most rewarding prayer for a woman is for her to pray at home and in a secluded area, is because the concept of always viewing women as pearls, as jewels to be always respected and be guarded as the pillars of the community. This is something that needs to be done from both the community and the woman herself. So her part is for her not to expose herself physically, and that is by wearing a garment. This is why part of the garment for a woman to wear is to be loose, to wear, if she were to perform the prayer in public, this will not show actually her body parts. So this is why the garment comes in as in place. If it is loose, she can perform her prayer for as long as she is safe in public place, inshaAllah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide us to that which is pleasing to Him. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala Muhammad walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.